Hello there, and welcome to the Dreamy Ocean Channel. As the day's light begins to fade, allow your shoulders to soften, your breath to deepen, and any tension held within your brow to gently release. Let your thoughts drift, much like a solitary current in the vast open sea, carrying you away from the shores of waking consciousness. What ancient force forged over 400 million years of ceaseless evolution navigates the deep with senses so exquisitely acute they perceive the very pulse of the ocean, a living echo of primeval power? How does such a creature, an apex marvel adorned with 6 rows of perpetually renewing teeth, maintain its silent, profound dominion over the blue abyss, a mystery cloaked in the vastness of the water itself? This evening we shall gently descend into the cool, dark embrace of the deep to ponder the silent majesty of the great white shark, a creature of both formidable power and profound enigma. Allow the gentle currents of this story to carry you into slumber. The dawn of the great white lineage, within the ancient, sun-dappled waters of a world far removed from our own, where the very continents were still in motion, coalescing and fracturing. Across the vast blue expanse, life was stirring in forms both familiar and profoundly alien. For a creature as exquisitely adapted as the great white shark, its story does not begin with its sleek, formidable silhouette patrolling the coastal shallows, but rather in the deep, silent archives of geological time, stretching back over 400 million years. This lineage, a testament to enduring biological success, predates the dinosaurs, precedes the first flowering plants, and traces its origins to a time when the Earth's atmosphere held a different breath, and the oceans were teeming with life, radically unlike anything we observe today. Imagine, if you will, a primordial ocean bathed in a muted, ethereal light, where the earliest vertebrates, armored fish known as placoderms, sculled through the ancient currents. It was within this watery cradle, approximately 450 million years ago, that the first whispers of what would become the shark began to emerge. These were not the sleek, cartilaginous hunters we recognize, but rather humble, jawless ancestors, perhaps resembling elongated, soft-bodied forms. Then, a monumental leap in evolution occurred: the development of jaws. This innovation, a revolutionary adaptation that allowed creatures to actively seize and tear prey, rather than merely filter feeding or scavenging, unlocked an entirely new realm of ecological possibilities. Among these early jawed fishes, a particular group characterized by skeletons made of cartilage rather than bone began its slow, deliberate journey down an evolutionary path that would ultimately lead to the apex predators of our modern seas. One of the earliest discernible shark-like forms to grace the ancient oceans was Cladocelache, a relatively small creature, perhaps a meter in length, swimming through the Devonian seas some 370 million years ago. Its body was torpedo-shaped, a design already hinting at the hydrodynamic efficiency that would define its distant descendants. Its fins were broad and rigid, suggesting a more sedate, perhaps less agile swimming style than contemporary sharks. Crucially, Cladocelache possessed a set of simple, multi-cusped teeth, though these were not regularly replaced in the conveyor belt fashion of modern sharks. These early teeth were firmly rooted, and as they broke or wore down, they were simply lost rather than being continuously regenerated. Its skin was smooth, lacking the dermal denticles that give modern sharks their sandpaper-like texture, yet it was a predator, a swift shadow darting among the ancient corals and nautiloids, a testament to the nascent power of its lineage. As the geological epochs unfolded, marked by the slow, inexorable turning of the Earth's crust and the rhythmic ebb and flow of great ice ages and warming periods, the shark lineage diversified with astonishing creativity. The Carboniferous period, often referred to as the Golden Age of Sharks, witnessed an explosion of forms, some of which seem almost fantastical to our modern eyes. Picture the peculiar Stethacanthes, with its anvil-shaped dorsal fin studded with denticles, or the enigmatic Helicoprion, whose lower jaw coiled into a spiral of interlocking teeth, a biological buzzsaw slicing through the ancient waters. These creatures, though distantly related, showcased the incredible plasticity of the cartilaginous skeleton, allowing for a vast array of body plans and hunting strategies. They navigated an ocean teeming with diverse, life-surviving multiple mass extinctions that decimated other groups, a quiet testament to their inherent resilience and adaptability. The end of the Permian period, approximately 252 million years ago, brought forth the most catastrophic extinction event in Earth's history, wiping out over 90% of marine species. Yet the cartilaginous fishes, the ancestors of modern sharks, endured. Their flexible cartilaginous skeletons, while not preserving as readily in the fossil record as bone, offered a profound advantage: lighter weight and greater maneuverability. This inherent design allowed them to adapt to changing environments, to find new niches in the reshaped ecosystems of the Mesozoic era, the age of dinosaurs. While colossal marine reptiles like ichthyosaurs and plesiosaurs dominated the open ocean, sharks continued their quiet evolution, refining their senses, their swimming mechanics, and their formidable dental arrays. It was during the late Mesozoic, around 100 million years ago, that the Neolamni, or modern sharks, began to emerge, a group that includes the great white. These sharks possessed a suite of advanced features that set them apart: highly articulated jaws that could protrude forward to engulf prey, and perhaps most significantly, the continuous conveyor belt tooth replacement system. Imagine a living arsenal where hundreds of razor-sharp teeth are constantly developing in rows behind the active cutting edge, slowly migrating forward and then falling out, only to be replaced by fresh, perfectly formed replacements. This evolutionary innovation ensured that a shark would never be without its primary hunting tool, a perpetual renewal of its most fearsome weapon. As the dinosaurs vanished in the cataclysmic event 66 million years ago, the Cenozoic era dawned, and with it, the oceans witnessed the rise of truly gigantic predators. Among them was Carcharicles megalodon, a name that echoes with both awe and a touch of primal fear, meaning giant tooth. This colossal shark, which dominated the oceans for approximately 20 million years, from about 23 to 3.6 million years ago, was a predator of truly epic proportions. Scientists estimate it could reach lengths of 18 to 20 meters, dwarfing even the largest modern great white. Its jaws, capable of crushing the bones of whales, were lined with teeth the size of a human hand, each serrated edge a testament to its raw power. For many years, Carcharicles megalodon was widely believed to be the direct ancestor of the modern great white. The sheer size of its teeth, their serrated edges, and its apex predator status seemed to draw a clear line of descent. However, the patient, meticulous work of paleontologists and evolutionary biologists has in recent decades begun to paint a more nuanced and fascinating picture. While both Megalodon and the Great White are magnificent lamniform sharks sharing a common ancient ancestry, scientific consensus has shifted. Researchers now theorize that Carcharicles megalodon belongs to a distinct extinct lineage, one that ultimately died out without leaving modern descendants. Its teeth, though superficially similar, possess subtle but significant differences in their root structure and overall morphology compared to those of the great white. The prevailing hypothesis suggests that megalodon's closest living relatives are actually the mako sharks, specifically the broad-toothed mako. Carcharodon hastalis. This is where the true lineage of the modern great white shark, Carcharodon carcharias, truly begins to diverge and take shape. Instead of descending directly from the colossal megalodon, the great white is now believed to have evolved from a different, albeit closely related lineage of ancient mako sharks. Scientists propose that a prehistoric mako species, perhaps Carcharodon hastalis, began to develop serrations on its teeth, a crucial adaptation for hunting larger, softer-bodied prey, such as marine mammals, which were becoming increasingly abundant in the Cenozoic oceans. Imagine the slow, incremental changes generation after generation as the smooth, blade-like edges of the mako's teeth, designed for slicing fish, gradually acquired the microscopic saw-like structures that would enable a more efficient, tearing bite. This evolutionary pressure, driven by the expanding availability of fatty, energy-rich mammalian prey, favored individuals with increasingly serrated dentition. Over millions of years, this lineage continued to refine its form. The body plan became more robust, the caudal fin more crescent-shaped for powerful bursts of speed, and the sensory organs became exquisitely tuned to detect the faintest vibrations, the subtlest electrical fields, and the most minute traces of scent in the vast ocean. The modern great white, as we recognize it today, with its distinctive triangular serrated teeth, its counter-shaded coloration, and its formidable hunting prowess, is believed to have emerged approximately 11 to 16 million years ago. It is a culmination not of a single dramatic transformation, but of a slow, patient accumulation of advantageous traits, each one a tiny adjustment over countless generations, honed by the relentless pressures of natural selection. Thus, the great white shark, a living relic of deep time, carries within its very being the echoes of ancient oceans and the whispers of evolutionary triumphs. Its perfect form, its acute senses, and its silent, powerful presence are not sudden creations, but rather the result of an unbroken chain of life, stretching back to the earliest stirrings of jawed vertebrates. It is a testament to the enduring power of adaptation, a living bridge connecting us to a world that existed long before human memory, reminding us of the profound, slow artistry of evolution, perpetually shaping and refining life in the boundless blue. The great white's form and function. From the profound depths of its ancient lineage, the great white shark emerges into the present ocean as a living sculpture, an embodiment of hydrodynamic perfection, meticulously crafted by millions of years of relentless evolutionary pressure. Its very form, a sleek, powerful torpedo, speaks of efficiency and speed, a testament to the ocean's unforgiving demands. As it glides through the cool, silent currents, its body seems to melt into the water, a seamless extension of the liquid environment it inhabits. This streamlined shape, known as fusiform, tapers gently from a broad, muscular midsection towards both its pointed snout and its powerful crescent-shaped tail, a design that minimizes drag and allows for effortless propulsion through the dense medium of water. Consider for a moment the sheer scale of this living architecture. A mature great white shark can stretch to lengths exceeding 6 meters, a colossal presence beneath the waves, with some exceptional individuals pushing even further, their immense bodies displacing thousands of kilograms of water. The females, typically larger and more robust than the males, embody a profound strength, their substantial girth suggesting the power required to carry and nurture their developing young. This impressive size is not merely for intimidation. It is a fundamental component of its predatory strategy, enabling it to overpower large prey and to traverse vast oceanic distances with remarkable stamina. The coloration of the great white shark, a subtle yet profoundly effective camouflage, is a masterclass in natural design. Its dorsal or upper surface is typically a muted slate grey, sometimes verging on a brownish or even blackish hue, a tone that blends seamlessly with the dark, often murky depths when viewed from above. Beneath this somber canopy, its ventral or undersurface transitions abruptly to a pristine, brilliant white. This striking contrast, known as countershading, is a vital adaptation for concealment. When sunlight filters down through the water, illuminating the shark from above its dark back, merges with the shadowed seabed, or the deeper water below, making it difficult for prey swimming above to discern its form. Conversely, when viewed from below against the brighter surface, light filtering down from the sun-drenched expanse, its white belly disappears into the shimmering silver of the sky above, rendering it almost invisible to unsuspecting prey swimming further down. This dual-purpose camouflage allows the great white to approach its quarry unseen, a silent spectral hunter in the vast blue. Running your hand hypothetically along the surface of a great white shark would reveal a texture unlike the smooth, slimy skin of bony fish. Instead, you would encounter a rough, abrasive surface akin to fine-grained sandpaper. This is due to the shark's dermal denticle's tiny tooth-like scales that are embedded in its skin, overlapping like miniature roof tiles, all pointing towards the tail. Each denticle is composed of dentine capped with enamel, mirroring the very structure of its formidable teeth. These remarkable structures serve multiple critical functions. They provide a tough protective armor against bites and scrapes, shielding the shark from the rigors of its often violent existence. More subtly and perhaps more ingeniously, the precise arrangement of these denticles disrupts the flow of water over the shark's body, creating microscopic vortices that reduce drag. This allows the shark to glide through the water with greater efficiency, conserving energy during long patrols and enabling explosive bursts of speed when pursuing prey. Some scientists even theorize that these denticles may play a role in reducing turbulent noise, allowing the shark to move with even greater stealth. Unlike the bony fishes whose skeletons are composed of rigid bone, the great white shark possesses a skeleton made entirely of cartilage. This flexible yet strong tissue is significantly lighter than bone, contributing to the shark's buoyancy and agility. Imagine the deep, resonant strength of a material that can support such a powerful body, yet remains supple enough to allow for the precise, undulating movements required for efficient swimming and sudden, forceful strikes. While cartilage does not fossilize as readily as bone making, the ancient history of sharks, a puzzle often pieced together from teeth and vertebral centra. Its biological advantages are profound. It allows for a greater degree of movement and torsion, enabling the shark to twist and turn with remarkable speed and precision, an invaluable asset for an active predator, navigating the three-dimensional world of the ocean. Each fin on the great white's body is a marvel of engineering perfectly sculpted for its specific role in propulsion stability and maneuverability. Dominating the shark's dorsal aspect, rising like a dark triangular sentinel above the waterline when it breaches, is the iconic first dorsal fin. This large, rigid structure acts as a keel, preventing the shark from rolling uncontrollably, maintaining its upright posture as it carves through the water. Its imposing presence is not just for stability. It is a visual signature, an unmistakable silhouette, that has become synonymous with the raw power of the ocean. Further along its flank, just behind the gill slits, are the paired pectoral fins, broad and wing-like. These are not merely passive stabilizers. They are highly articulated hydrofoils akin to the wings of an aircraft. By subtly altering their angle of attack, the shark can generate lift, allowing it to maintain its position in the water column without sinking, as its cartilaginous skeleton, while lighter than bone, is still denser than water. More importantly, the pectoral fins are critical for steering, allowing the shark to execute precise turns and subtle adjustments to its trajectory. They also act as powerful brakes flaring outwards to rapidly increase drag, bringing the shark to a swift halt when necessary, a crucial maneuver during an ambush attack, or when navigating complex underwater topography. Beneath the shark's belly, positioned between the pectoral and anal fins, are the smaller paired pelvic fins. These fins, while less dramatic in appearance than the dorsal or pectorals, play a crucial role in maintaining stability, particularly during slower swimming or when the shark is resting on the seabed. They help to prevent unwanted yawing and pitching motions, ensuring a smooth, controlled passage through the water. Towards the posterior of the body, a small triangular anal fin further aids in stability, though it is often reduced or even absent in some lamniform sharks. Its presence in the great white contributes to the overall stability package, ensuring that the shark remains a steady, unwavering platform for its acute senses and powerful hunting movements. But the true engine of the great white shark, the primary source of its formidable propulsion, is its caudal fin, or tail fin. This magnificent structure is a powerful crescent-shaped hydrofoil, perfectly designed for generating immense thrust. Unlike the symmetrical tails of many bony fishes, the great white's caudal fin is heterocercal, meaning its upper lobe is slightly larger than the lower, with the vertebral column extending into the upper lobe. However, in the great white, this asymmetry is less pronounced than in more primitive sharks, creating a more symmetrical lunate shape that is characteristic of fast-swimming pelagic sharks. Imagine the sheer force generated by the powerful rhythmic sweeps of this tail, driving the colossal body forward through the water with incredible acceleration. This lunate tail, combined with the shark's powerful red muscle fibers, which are rich in myoglobin and mitochondria, allows for sustained high-speed cruising, enabling it to cover vast distances across ocean basins in search of prey. Respiration for the great white is a continuous vital process, facilitated by 5 to 7 gill slits located on either side of its head just behind the eyes. Unlike many bottom-dwelling sharks that can actively pump water over their gills, buccal pumping the great white shark is largely reliant on ram ventilation. This means it must constantly swim forward, forcing water into its open mouth and over its highly vascularized gill filaments, where oxygen is extracted and carbon dioxide is released. This necessity for constant motion underscores its nature as an active pelagic predator, forever cruising forever, breathing a perpetual motion machine of the ocean. Should it cease forward movement for too long, oxygen starvation would rapidly ensue, a stark reminder of the delicate balance between its form and its vital functions. The eyes of the great white shark, while perhaps not as dominant a sensory organ as its olfactory or electroreceptive systems, are nonetheless highly adapted for its predatory lifestyle. Positioned on the sides of its head, they offer a wide field of vision, allowing it to scan its environment for potential prey. The pupils are round and dark, and within the retina lies a specialized reflective layer called the tapetum lucidum. This biological mirror amplifies available light, allowing the shark to see exceptionally well in low light conditions, such as during dawn and dusk, which are often prime hunting times, or in the deeper, dimmer reaches of the ocean. While its visual acuity is not believed to be as sharp as that of many terrestrial predators, its ability to detect movement and contrast, especially in the challenging underwater light environment, is perfectly suited to its role. Beneath this formidable exterior, the great white harbors internal adaptations that further cement its status as an apex predator. Its liver, a truly massive organ that can constitute up to a quarter of its body weight, is rich in a low-density oil called squalene. This oil acts as a natural buoyancy aid, compensating for the lack of a swim bladder, allowing the shark to achieve neutral buoyancy with less effort. It also serves as a vast energy reserve, enabling the shark to endure prolonged periods between substantial meals, a critical advantage in the unpredictable expanse of the open ocean. Furthermore, the great white possesses a unique physiological adaptation known as regional endothermy, or warm-bloodedness. While not fully endothermic like mammals, it can elevate the temperature of certain parts of its body, particularly its eyes brain and the powerful red muscles used for swimming. This is achieved through a specialized network of blood vessels called the rete mirabili, or wonderful net, which acts as a countercurrent heat exchanger, retaining metabolic heat within these vital areas. This elevated temperature enhances muscle performance, allowing for faster, more powerful contractions, and improves the speed of neurological processes, leading to quicker reaction times and sharper sensory perception, particularly in colder waters. In essence, every curve, every fin, every internal organ of the great white shark is a masterstroke of natural selection, meticulously honed to create a creature perfectly engineered for its role. It is an architect of the deep, its very form, a silent, powerful declaration of its enduring dominion over the vast, ancient waters, a testament to the endless, patient artistry of evolution. Anatomy of the great white's jaws and teeth. As the great white shark glides through the profound blue, its formidable presence is often first perceived as a dark, silent shadow, a sleek fusiform shape moving with an effortless grace. Yet the true heart of its predatory power, the very instrument that has secured its apex status across millions of years, resides within the intricate architecture of its jaws and the ceaseless renewal of its serrated teeth. This oral apparatus is not merely a collection of sharp points. It is a dynamic, living weapons system, a marvel of biological engineering designed for the precise, devastating capture and dismemberment of prey. Imagine for a moment the wide, cavernous opening of its mouth, a dark portal that reveals the terrifying beauty within. Unlike the bony jaws of mammals, which are rigidly fused to the skull, the great white's jaws are a complex, flexible arrangement of cartilage unattached to its cranium. This anatomical distinction allows for a remarkable degree of mobility and protrusion, a critical adaptation for a predator that relies on ambush and overwhelming force. When the shark prepares to strike, a series of powerful muscles and ligaments intricately woven throughout the head engage in a coordinated ballet. The upper jaw, or palatoquadrate, is not rigidly fixed. Instead, it can be thrust forward and downward, extending away from the skull. Simultaneously, the lower jaw, or Meckel's cartilage, drops open, creating a gaping maw that significantly increases the effective reach and biting surface area. This forward protrusion allows the shark to seize prey without having to swim directly over it, enabling a more efficient and devastating strike, often from below or behind, catching its target completely off guard. Within this powerful, protruding oral cavity lies the shark's most iconic feature, its teeth. These are not just scattered points of bone, but an ordered, perpetually regenerating armamentarium, arranged in multiple, often 6, visible rows. Each tooth is a perfectly sculpted instrument of capture and cutting, composed primarily of dentine, a hard bone-like tissue, and capped with an incredibly robust layer of fluoridated hydroxyapatite, often referred to as enameloid, which gives them their formidable hardness and resistance to wear. The teeth in the upper jaw are distinctly different from those in the lower, a specialized division of labor that maximizes the efficiency of the bite. The upper teeth are typically broader, triangular, and possess deeply serrated edges like miniature razor-sharp saw blades. These are the primary cutting tools designed for shearing through flesh bone and cartilage with astonishing ease. Imagine the microscopic landscape of these serrations, countless tiny points and valleys, each one enhancing the tooth's ability to tear and carve, transforming a simple bite into a devastating surgical incision. The larger, more prominent teeth are positioned in the front rows, diminishing slightly in size towards the corners of the jaw, ensuring that the initial impact and cutting force are concentrated where they are most effective. In contrast, the teeth of the lower jaw are generally narrower, more pointed, and often less serrated, though still incredibly sharp. Their primary function is to grip and hold prey firmly in place, preventing escape, while the upper teeth perform their shearing work. Picture these lower teeth as an array of immovable anchors piercing and securing the struggling body, allowing the upper jaw to descend and carve with precision. This dual functionality with distinct upper and lower dentition is a hallmark of the great white's predatory sophistication, a testament to millions of years of refinement. Perhaps the most astonishing aspect of the great white's dentition is its continuous replacement system, a biological conveyor belt of lethal efficiency. Unlike mammals which grow a finite set of teeth, sharks possess an unending supply. Behind the outermost functional row of teeth lie several more rows, often 5 or 6 of developing teeth nestled within the gum tissue. These nascent teeth are constantly growing, slowly migrating forward, gradually tilting into position as the older worn or broken teeth in the front row are shed. This process ensures that the shark is never without a full complement of perfectly sharp, pristine teeth. A single great white shark may lose and replace tens of thousands of teeth over its lifetime, each lost tooth a small, silent testament to a successful hunt or a powerful struggle sinking to the ocean floor to become a timeless fossil, a whisper of its passage. The sheer force exerted by these jaws is immense. While precise measurements on live, large great whites are challenging to obtain scientific models, and bite force analyses of comparable large predators suggest that a fully grown great white shark can generate a bite force estimated to be in the range of several thousand pounds per square inch. This colossal pressure, combined with the shearing action of its serrated teeth, allows it to inflict catastrophic damage, severing limbs and tearing away large chunks of flesh with a single powerful bite. Imagine the concentrated power, the raw, crushing and cutting energy contained within that brief, explosive moment of impact. The musculature surrounding the great white's jaws is equally impressive, a dense, interconnected network of powerful fibers that provide the mechanical advantage necessary for such devastating force. These muscles are not only responsible for the initial opening and closing of the jaws, but also for the precise control required to grip and tear. The architecture of the jaw hinge, while cartilaginous, is incredibly robust, designed to withstand the immense stresses generated during a bite. This synergy between flexible cartilage, powerful musculature, and continuously regenerating specialized teeth creates a predatory apparatus that is virtually unparalleled in the marine world. The evolutionary advantage of this dental system is profound. For a predator whose primary tool is its mouth, The continuous renewal of sharp teeth eliminates the vulnerability that would arise from damaged or worn dentition. A broken tooth, which might spell starvation for a mammal, is merely a temporary inconvenience for a great white, swiftly replaced by a fresh, equally formidable successor. This constant state of readiness ensures maximal hunting efficiency throughout the shark's long lifespan, from its early years as a smaller predator of fish to its adult role as a hunter of seals, sea lions, and even small whales. The shape and size of the teeth also vary subtly with the shark's age and diet. Younger great whites often preying on fish tend to have slightly narrower, sharper teeth, more suited for piercing and grasping slippery prey. As they mature and transition to larger marine mammal prey, their teeth become broader and more robust, with more pronounced serrations optimized for tearing through tougher hides and thicker bone. This ontogenetic shift in dentition reflects the shark's adaptive capacity, its ability to modify its primary weapon system to suit the changing demands of its diet throughout its life cycle. Even the angle at which the teeth are set within the jaw contributes to their effectiveness. They are not perfectly perpendicular but angle slightly inwards, creating a natural barb-like effect that helps to secure prey within the mouth, resisting any attempts to pull free. This subtle inclination further enhances the grip, ensuring that once the jaws close, escape becomes an almost impossible feat against the combined force of the upper and lower rows. Thus, the serrated crown of the great white shark is far more than a collection of sharp points. It is a dynamic, evolving system, a testament to millions of years of evolutionary refinement. Each tooth, each jaw movement, each muscular contraction is part of a perfectly synchronized mechanism designed for one purpose: efficient, overwhelming predation. As the great white silently patrols its domain, its formidable dental array lies in wait, a constant reminder of its enduring reign as an architect of the deep, a creature whose very anatomy whispers of ancient power and perfect primal efficiency. The great white's olfactory world. Beyond the formidable architecture of its teeth and jaws, which speak of a direct, undeniable power, lies a more ethereal yet equally potent sensory domain within the great white shark, its olfactory world. This is a realm of invisible currents and molecular whispers, where information drifts on the faintest breath of the ocean, painting a silent internal map of its vast liquid environment. For this ancient predator, the sense of smell is not merely an adjunct to its vision, but often the very first thread of information, the distant precursor to a hunt, reaching across kilometers of undulating water. Imagine the shark's snout not merely a pointed spear for hydrodynamic efficiency, but a finely tuned instrument housing two distinct apertures on its underside, positioned just ahead of its mouth. These are the nares or nostrils, and unlike the nostrils of terrestrial creatures that serve both breathing and smelling, these are dedicated solely to the perception of chemical signatures in the water. Each nares is divided into two openings, an incurrent pore, through which water gently flows inward, and an excurrent pore, from which the water exits. This continuous flow, driven by the shark's forward motion, ensures a constant sampling of the surrounding liquid environment, a perpetual tasting of the ocean's molecular narrative. As water enters these silent portals, it is guided over an intricate internal structure known as the olfactory rosette. Picture a delicate, highly folded organ resembling a miniature ethereal flower, with numerous lamellae or thin leaf-like tissues radiating outwards from a central axis. This complex arrangement dramatically increases the surface area exposed to the passing water, much like the intricate folds of the human brain, or the delicate alveoli within our lungs. Embedded within the epithelial lining of these lamellae are millions of specialized olfactory receptor cells. Each one a microscopic antenna exquisitely sensitive to specific chemical compounds dissolved in the ocean. When a particular molecule, perhaps a trace of amino acid or a fragment of blood, drifts past these receptors, it binds to them, triggering a cascade of electrochemical signals. These signals are then rapidly transmitted along neural pathways to the shark's olfactory bulbs, which are remarkably large and well-developed structures within its brain. Indeed, a significant proportion of the great white's brain is dedicated to processing olfactory information, underscoring the profound importance of this sense to its survival and predatory success. It is a testament to an evolutionary journey spanning hundreds of millions of years, where the ability to detect subtle chemical gradients in water became a cornerstone of existence. The sensitivity of this olfactory system is truly astonishing, bordering on the almost imperceptible. Scientists believe that great white sharks can detect certain chemical compounds, particularly those associated with blood and bodily fluids, in concentrations as low as a few parts per billion. To truly grasp this, imagine dissolving a single drop of a substance into an Olympic-sized swimming pool. The great white's olfactory system could potentially discern its presence. This profound acuity allows the shark to pick up the faintest ghost of a presence, the molecular echo of a wounded fish, or a struggling marine mammal from distances that stretch across the vastness of the sea. The oft-cited ability to smell blood from 5 kilometers away is not an exaggeration, but rather a simplified description of this incredible sensitivity, a testament to its finely tuned biological apparatus. However, it is crucial to understand that this detection is not instantaneous or omnidirectional, like a spotlight piercing the darkness. The ocean is a dynamic, ever-moving fluid, and chemical cues do not travel in a straight line. Instead, they disperse and diffuse, carried by the invisible hand of ocean currents, forming elongated, tapering plumes of scent. When a great white shark detects such a plume, it is not smelling a direct source, but rather a diluted chemical trail, a molecular breadcrumb leading back to its origin. To pinpoint the source of a scent, the great white employs a sophisticated strategy known as stereo-olfaction, akin to how we use 2 ears to determine the direction of sound. Each nares functions independently, providing separate streams of chemical information to the brain. If one nostril detects a stronger concentration of a particular scent than the other, the shark instinctively knows that the source lies in the direction of the stronger signal. To enhance this directional tracking, the great white often performs a characteristic head-weaving motion as it swims slowly, sweeping its head from side to side. This deliberate oscillation allows it to constantly compare the scent intensity received by each nares, effectively creating a chemical gradient map in its mind. By following the path of increasing concentration, much like a bloodhound tracking a scent on land, the shark can navigate directly towards its prey, even in conditions of low visibility. The specific chemical compounds that trigger the most potent responses in a great white are primarily amino acids, the building blocks of proteins which are released from the tissues of all living organisms, especially when injured or stressed. The presence of blood naturally rich in these amino acids and other distress signals acts as a powerful attractant. Imagine the silent alarm bells ringing within the shark's brain, as these specific molecular keys fit into the locks of its olfactory receptors, signaling the potential for a meal. It is a primal, deeply ingrained response honed over geological timescales. This exquisite sense of smell plays a fundamental role in every stage of the great white's predatory life. From vast distances, it allows the shark to detect potential prey that may be too far to see or too deep to sense with other organs. It enables the shark to locate injured or sick animals, which are often easier to catch and represent a more energy-efficient meal. As the shark draws closer to the scent's origin, its olfactory system continues to provide crucial information, confirming the presence of prey and guiding its final approach. It is a silent, persistent hunter, often following an invisible trail long before its other senses come into play. Beyond hunting, scientists theorize that olfaction may also contribute to the great white's remarkable migratory patterns. The ocean is not a uniform expanse. It contains vast, subtle chemical gradients influenced by ocean currents, river outflows, and the distribution of different marine life. It is plausible that sharks utilize these large-scale chemical cues, perhaps detecting minute differences in salinity or temperature-related chemical signatures to navigate across entire ocean basins, returning to specific feeding grounds or breeding areas year after year. This would add another layer to the complexity of their internal compass, a silent molecular guide across the endless blue. However, it is important to temper the dramatic imagery of an all-seeing, all-smelling predator with scientific nuance. While incredibly sensitive, the great white's olfactory world is still governed by the laws of physics and chemistry. The speed at which scent travels is dependent on water movement, and turbulent currents can scatter a plume, making it harder to track. The blood frenzy, often depicted in popular culture while based on the shark's attraction to blood, is often an oversimplification. While a strong concentration of blood or other bodily fluids can indeed excite sharks and draw multiple individuals to a single location, their behavior is typically more calculated and less chaotic than often portrayed. It is a precise evolutionary response to a potent chemical signal, not an uncontrolled rage. Ultimately, the great white's olfactory system is a testament to the power of adaptation, a primeval sense refined to an extraordinary degree. It is a constant, invisible vigilance, allowing the shark to perceive a world of molecular narratives of whispers on the current that guide its silent passage through the deep. This ancient sense, honed over countless generations, works in profound concert with its other sensory capabilities, creating a complete, integrated picture of its environment, a masterpiece of biological detection that continues to unfold as we gently drift into the quiet mysteries of the ocean's architect. Navigating the ocean's invisible fields, where the subtle molecular narratives of scent drift upon the currents, painting an ethereal map of distant life, another even more profound and invisible dimension unfolds around the great white shark, the silent, shimmering landscape of electrical fields. This is not a world perceived through light or sound or even chemical trace, but through the faintest whispers of bioelectricity, a fundamental force woven into the very fabric of living beings. For the great white, this sixth sense is an ancient inheritance, a specialized perception that allows it to navigate, hunt, and survive in the vast, often opaque reaches of the ocean, unveiling secrets hidden from the eyes of most other creatures. Observe the shark's broad, powerful head, particularly its snout and the area surrounding its mouth. If you were to look closely, you would discern hundreds of tiny, almost imperceptible pores scattered across the skin. These are not merely superficial openings. Each one is the external aperture of a remarkable sensory organ known as the ampullae of Lorenzini. Picture these pores as the entrance to a network of delicate, translucent canals, each one a fine, intricate tube, burrowing inwards beneath the skin. These canals, varying in length from a few millimeters to several centimeters, converge at their deeper end into a small bulb-like structure called an ampulla. Within the walls of each ampulla lie specialized receptor cells, the true marvels of this electroreceptive system. The canals themselves are not empty. They are meticulously filled with a unique, highly conductive jelly-like substance. This specialized gel, rich in proteoglycans, possesses electrical properties that are incredibly efficient at transmitting even the most minute fluctuations in electrical potential from the external environment directly to the sensitive receptor cells within the ampullae. Imagine a living biological cable perfectly insulated and highly tuned, designed to carry the faintest electrical current without loss or distortion. This unique gel, a marvel of natural chemistry, is the silent medium through which the ocean's electrical whispers travel, guiding them precisely to their cellular destinations. The principle behind this extraordinary sense is elegantly simple, yet profoundly effective. Every living creature, from the smallest plankton to the largest whale, generates faint electrical fields through its fundamental biological processes. Muscle contractions, even the rhythmic beating of a heart or the subtle twitch of a gill, produce minute electrical impulses. Nerve activity, the very thoughts and signals within an organism, also radiates these tiny bioelectric currents. As a fish swims, its muscles contract, creating an electrical field that pulses rhythmically into the surrounding water. As a seal breathes, its gill movements and internal physiological processes generate a subtle electrical signature. It is these imperceptible living electrical signals that the ampullae of Lorenzini are exquisitely designed to detect. The sensitivity of this system is almost beyond human comprehension. Scientists have demonstrated that sharks can detect electrical fields as weak as 5 nanovolts per centimeter. To put this into perspective, consider the charge generated by a single household battery. If you were to lay out 2 wires from that battery separated by the entire length of the North American continent, the great white shark could potentially detect the infinitesimal voltage difference between those 2 points. This extraordinary sensitivity allows the shark to perceive the electrical aura of its prey, even when it is completely hidden from sight, perhaps buried beneath sand, camouflaged against rocks, or obscured by the murky depths where light cannot penetrate. It is a perception that cuts through the visual and auditory noise of the ocean, revealing the very pulse of life itself. During the final critical moments of a hunt, as the great white approaches its unsuspecting prey, its electroreceptive sense becomes paramount. While olfaction may guide it from afar and vision may aid in the initial identification, it is often the invisible electrical signature that provides the ultimate, precise targeting information. Imagine a seal resting on the seabed, perfectly still, its counter-shaded body blending seamlessly with the dappled light. Visually, it might be indistinguishable, but its beating heart, its slow, rhythmic respiration, its very life force radiates a faint electrical field into the water. The great white gliding silently above perceives this field not as a visual image, but as a subtle, pulsing signature, a beacon in the darkness. This allows for an unerring pinpoint accuracy in its final strike, even if the prey attempts to hide or freeze its movements. Furthermore, the ampullae of Lorenzini are particularly adept at detecting the irregular electrical signals emitted by injured or stressed prey. A fish struggling on a line, a seal weakened by illness, or a creature bleeding from a wound will often exhibit erratic or heightened bioelectrical activity. These anomalous electrical signatures are like distress flares in the shark's silent electrical world, signaling a vulnerable target that requires less energy to capture. This makes the electroreceptive sense a highly efficient tool for identifying optimal prey, contributing to the great white's reputation as a highly effective opportunistic predator. Beyond the immediate dynamics of predation, scientists also theorize that the ampullae of Lorenzini play a crucial role in the great white's remarkable navigational abilities, particularly during its extensive long-distance migrations across vast ocean basins. The Earth itself is a gigantic magnet, generating a global magnetic field that permeates its oceans. As the great white shark, a living conductor, moves through this magnetic field, an electric current is induced in its body. The ampullae of Lorenzini are believed to be sensitive enough to detect these induced currents, allowing the shark to perceive the direction and strength of the Earth's magnetic field. Imagine the ocean as a colossal, invisible map etched with lines of magnetic force. By sensing these lines, much like a compass needle aligning with the Earth's poles, the great white could potentially orient itself, maintaining a consistent migratory path across thousands of kilometers of featureless open water. This hypothesis suggests that the shark possesses an innate biological GPS system guiding it to specific feeding grounds, breeding areas, or warmer waters with astonishing precision, even in the absence of visual cues like coastlines or celestial bodies. Minor anomalies in the Earth's magnetic field, perhaps caused by underwater geological features, could also serve as specific waypoints, helping the shark to fine-tune its navigation. Moreover, the ampullae of Lorenzini may also be sensitive to subtle temperature gradients and changes in salinity, as these environmental factors can affect the electrical conductivity of seawater. While not their primary function, this additional sensitivity could provide the shark with even more detailed information about its surrounding environment, helping it to locate productive upwelling zones rich in prey, or to avoid areas with unfavorable conditions. The ocean for the great white is not merely a medium of water, but a complex dynamic tapestry of interconnected physical and energetic forces, all interpreted through its specialized senses. The evolutionary development of this electroreceptive sense in sharks is a testament to the power of adaptation in the marine environment. In a world where light rapidly diminishes with depth, where sound can be distorted, and where chemical cues disperse the ability to perceive the fundamental electrical emanations of life, offers a profound advantage. It allows the shark to operate effectively in low light conditions in turbid waters, and even in the complete darkness of the deep ocean, maintaining its predatory edge across a vast array of ecological niches. It is a sense that transcends the limitations of conventional perception, granting the great white an almost supernatural awareness of the unseen world around it. However, even this remarkable sense has its vulnerabilities. Strong artificial electromagnetic fields, such as those generated by underwater cables, metallic structures, or certain human technologies, can potentially interfere with the shark's electroreception, creating sensory confusion or even deterring them from certain areas. Scientists are actively studying these interactions to understand the full impact of human activities on these ancient predators. In its silent, powerful passage through the ocean, the great white shark is constantly bathed in a symphony of electrical whispers, a continuous stream of information flowing into its hundreds of ampullary pores. It perceives the rhythmic pulse of distant life, the subtle shifting of the Earth's magnetic currents, and the invisible contours of its liquid world, all translated into an internal understanding that guides its every movement. This electric sixth sense is not merely an additional tool, it is a fundamental pillar of its existence, allowing it to navigate the ocean's invisible fields, transforming the great white into a living sensor array, a creature profoundly attuned to the hidden energies that animate the deep. As we drift deeper into the quietude, let us marvel at this silent perception, a testament to evolution's endless ingenuity slowly guiding us into the realm of our own dreams. Strategies of the hunter, from the silent electric whispers that guide its path and the molecular narratives that hint at distant life. The great white shark synthesizes a profound understanding of its marine world, culminating in its refined and often devastating strategies of predation. As a true apex hunter, it occupies the very pinnacle of the ocean's food web, a living testament to millions of years of evolutionary refinement, where every sensory input, every anatomical feature, and every behavioral nuance contributes to its unparalleled success in securing sustenance within the vast, unpredictable blue. The journey of a great white's hunt often begins long before a target is even sighted in the methodical, ceaseless act of patrolling. Imagine this colossal creature, a living sculpture of muscle and cartilage, gliding through the water with an almost meditative rhythm. Its powerful crescent-shaped caudal fin sweeps from side to side, generating continuous efficient propulsion, while its pectoral fins subtly adjust, maintaining a perfect, effortless buoyancy. This is not a frantic search, but a patient, energy-conserving patrol, often along coastlines near seal colonies, or across open ocean migratory routes, where prey is known to congregate. During these extended cruises, its sensory array is perpetually active, a silent internal radar sweeping its environment. The olfactory rosettes are constantly sampling the water, detecting faint plumes of amino acids or the distant subtle scent of blood carried on the currents. Simultaneously, the ampullae of Lorenzini are perceiving the minute electrical fields emitted by every living creature, registering the rhythmic pulse of life beneath the waves. The lateral line system, a series of neuromasts embedded along its flanks, detects the faintest pressure changes and vibrations in the water, mapping the movements of distant organisms, even those too far to be seen or smelled. This integrated sensory input creates a continuous dynamic picture of its surroundings, allowing the shark to identify potential feeding opportunities from remarkable distances. One of the great white's most iconic and devastating hunting strategies is the ambush. This tactic capitalizes on the element of surprise and the shark's extraordinary burst speed. Often, the shark will position itself deep below its intended prey, perhaps 70 to 100 meters down in the darker, cooler water. Its counter-shaded coloration with its dark dorsal surface allows it to blend seamlessly with the dimness of the depths when viewed from above. It waits a silent, unmoving shadow, its senses meticulously tuned to the unsuspecting target above. Perhaps a seal basking on the surface or a sea lion swimming with playful abandon. The moment of commitment arrives, triggered by a precise confluence of sensory data. The rhythmic electrical pulse of the prey, the subtle vibrations of its movement, the visual silhouette against the brighter surface light. Then, with an explosive surge of power, the great white launches its attack. The water itself seems to compress under the sudden, immense thrust generated by its powerful caudal fin. Its robust red muscle, metabolically enhanced by regional endothermy, allows for a rapid, sustained acceleration, transforming its immense body into a living projectile. It rockets upwards, a colossal torpedo rising from the abyss, its jaws slightly agape, ready to protrude and engulf. The sheer momentum and velocity of this ascent are critical. As it breaches the surface, often leaping clear of the water in a spectacular display, it aims to deliver a single, catastrophic bite. This initial strike is designed to inflict maximum damage, to incapacitate or kill the prey, instantly minimizing the risk of injury to the shark itself. The force of impact, combined with the shearing action of its serrated upper teeth and the gripping power of its lower teeth, can literally tear a large chunk of flesh from its victim, or even in the case of smaller prey, sever it in two. Following this initial explosive strike, especially with larger, more dangerous prey, like seals or sea lions, the great white often employs a strategy known as the hit and run. Instead of immediately consuming its prey, the shark will retreat, often sinking back into the depths, allowing the injured animal to bleed out and weaken. This calculated patience serves a crucial purpose. It minimizes the risk of injury to the shark. A struggling, wounded seal, though mortally injured, can still inflict painful bites or scratches with its teeth and claws, or even damage the shark's delicate eyes during a prolonged struggle. By waiting, the shark allows the prey to expire, making it a safer, easier meal. This period of waiting can last from several minutes to over an hour, during which the shark circles, relying on its keen sense of smell to monitor the scent plume of blood and its electroreception to sense the diminishing life signals of its victim. When the prey is no longer thrashing or posing a threat, the great white returns to feed, often tearing off large, easily digestible chunks of flesh, which it swallows whole. The phenomenon of breaching, where the great white launches itself entirely out of the water, is a breathtaking demonstration of this ambush strategy, most famously observed in areas like False Bay, South Africa, when hunting Cape fur seals. This spectacular maneuver is not just for show. It is a highly effective method of catching fast, agile prey that might otherwise evade a subsurface attack. The shark uses the seabed or a rock formation as a launching pad, building incredible speed from the deep, breaking the surface with such force that its entire body becomes airborne. The angle of attack, the timing, and the immense power required for such a feat are a testament to the shark's predatory prowess and the precision of its sensory integration. While ambush is a primary tactic for larger marine mammal prey, the great white is also an opportunistic hunter, adapting its strategies to different food sources. For smaller, agile fish or even other sharks, the approach might be more direct, relying on its powerful bursts of speed and agility to pursue and capture. Its streamlined body and powerful caudal fin enable it to accelerate, rapidly closing distances with surprising swiftness. Its eyes, while not as acutely focused as a bird of prey, are adept at detecting movement and contrast, especially in the challenging underwater light environment. In these scenarios, the hunt might involve a more sustained chase, with the shark using its pectoral fins for precise steering and braking maneuvering through the water to outwit its quarry. The great white's hunting strategies also vary depending on its habitat and the availability of prey. In coastal areas where rocky reefs and kelp forests provide cover, the shark might employ a more stealthy weaving approach, using the underwater topography to conceal its movements. Near seal colonies, it learns the patterns of its prey when they enter and exit the water where they congregate and their typical swimming paths. Scientists believe that individual sharks can develop preferred hunting grounds and even specialized techniques tailored to specific locations and prey species, demonstrating a remarkable degree of behavioral flexibility and learning. This adaptability underscores that the great white is not a mindless eating machine, but a sophisticated predator capable of strategic thought and adjustment. Beyond active hunting, great white sharks are also known to be opportunistic scavengers. A large whale carcass drifting in the open ocean represents an enormous, energy-rich meal that requires no hunting effort. Sharks, with their keen sense of smell, are often among the first to arrive at such a bounty, consuming vast quantities of blubber and flesh. This scavenging behavior is an important part of their ecological role, helping to recycle nutrients within the marine ecosystem and supplementing their diet when live prey is scarce or difficult to catch. It highlights the shark's efficiency and its ability to capitalize on any available food source, maximizing caloric intake for the least energy expenditure. Scientists have also observed what some describe as investigative or test bites, particularly when encountering unfamiliar objects or potential prey. This behavior, where the shark may take a relatively soft bite and then retreat, is theorized to be a way for the shark to gather more information about an object's edibility texture and potential danger without committing to a full aggressive attack. However, this is a hypothesis, and the precise motivations behind such bites are still a subject of ongoing research and debate within the scientific community. It could also simply be an initial cautious strike that is then abandoned if the prey proves to be too large, too dangerous, or not worth the energy investment. Ultimately, the great white shark's predatory success is a culmination of its ancient lineage, its perfectly engineered form, and its highly acute senses, all channeled into a suite of sophisticated hunting strategies. It is a creature that understands the subtle language of the ocean, the currents that carry scent, the electrical whispers of life, the faint vibrations that betray movement. It moves with a silent, profound power, a living embodiment of efficiency and adaptation, perpetually balancing the expenditure of energy with the acquisition of sustenance. As it patrols its vast domain, a silent architect of the deep, its strategies of the hunt unfold with a primal elegance, a constant reminder of the enduring, formidable power of nature's apex predator, drifting us deeper into the quietude of its oceanic world. Unraveling attack, dynamics, and behavior. The culmination of ancient lineage, perfect form, and exquisitely honed senses manifests most dramatically in the great white shark strike, a moment of explosive power and precise, devastating efficiency. This is the zenith of its predatory existence, a rapid, often brutal ballet choreographed by millions of years of evolution unfolding with a speed that often defies human observation, leaving behind only the swirling currents and the profound, unsettling silence of the ocean. Imagine the final tense moments leading up to the attack. The shark has been patrolling perhaps for hours, its internal compass calibrated by magnetic fields, its olfactory rosettes tasting the subtle chemical signatures of life, its lateral lines sensing the faintest vibrations. Then, a convergence of these whispers solidifies into a clear signal, an unsuspecting seal, perhaps silhouetted against the shimmering surface light, its movements radiating faint, bioelectrical pulses that register with startling clarity through the ampullae of Lorenzini. The great white, often positioned deep below, becomes a coiled spring, a colossal mass of muscle held in a state of suspended readiness. Its counter-shaded body, dark above and white below, now serves its ultimate purpose, allowing it to vanish into the dimness of the depths when viewed from above, and to blend with the dazzling glare of the surface when viewed from below. This allows for an approach of almost perfect stealth, an unseen ascent from the abyss. The decision to strike is instantaneous, a primal command echoing through its ancient brain. With an almost unimaginable surge of power, the shark unleashes its stored energy. Its enormous caudal fin, the powerful engine of its propulsion, sweeps with incredible force, driving the massive body upward. The water itself seems to compress and then explode as the great white transforms from a gliding shadow into a living projectile. the robust red muscle fibers warmed by its specialized rete mirabile contract with maximum efficiency, propelling it forward at speeds that can reach 25 miles per hour or more in a burst. This is not a slow, deliberate movement, but an overwhelming ballistic launch aimed to close the distance to its prey in mere fractions of a second. As the shark hurtles upwards, its eyes, though not its primary targeting mechanism at this range, are likely fixed on the silhouette of its prey, providing crucial visual confirmation. However, it is the electroreceptive sense that provides the pinpoint accuracy. Even as the visual image might blur with speed, the rhythmic electrical pulse of the prey remains a clear, unwavering beacon guiding the shark's final trajectory with unerring precision. The lateral line system, too, is intensely active, detecting the minute pressure waves generated by the prey's movements, allowing for real-time adjustments to the attack vector. All senses converge, synthesizing a perfect momentary understanding of its target's position and vulnerability. The mouth begins to open even before impact, a dark, cavernous portal preparing to engulf. Then, in a remarkable feat of biomechanical engineering, the great white jaws protrude forward and downward, extending away from its skull. This allows the shark to seize prey that might otherwise be out of reach, increasing the effective biting area and ensuring that the full force of the strike is delivered. Simultaneously, the lower jaw drops, creating a gaping maw lined with its formidable serrated crown. The moment of impact is often accompanied by an audible thud or a violent splash as the great white erupts from the water, often breaching completely airborne, especially when attacking agile prey like seals on the surface. The bite itself is a symphony of power and specialized cutting. The broad, triangular, deeply serrated teeth of the upper jaw act as razor-sharp shearing blades designed to tear through flesh, blubber, and bone. The narrower, more pointed teeth of the lower jaw serve to grip and hold the struggling prey firmly in place, preventing escape. With a powerful clamping motion, the shark can inflict catastrophic damage, often severing limbs or tearing away massive chunks of tissue. To maximize the cutting efficiency, particularly when taking a large bite from a substantial carcass, the great white often performs a characteristic head-shaking or head-rolling motion. Imagine the colossal head twisting and wrenching from side to side, allowing the serrated edges of its teeth to saw and carve through the tough hide and muscle with amplified force like a living, powerful buzzsaw. During this violent contact, the shark possesses protective mechanisms to safeguard its vital sensory organs. Its eyes, while robust, are vulnerable. As it prepares for impact, the great white typically rotates its eyeballs backward into their sockets, exposing a tough protective cartilage shield. While it does not possess a true nictitating membrane like some other shark species, this eye-rolling action achieves a similar protective function, shielding the delicate visual organs from the thrashing struggles of its prey or accidental impacts during the attack. This momentary blindness is a calculated risk, mitigated by the precise targeting already achieved through its other senses. The immediate aftermath of the initial strike often involves the hit-and-run strategy, particularly when dealing with large, potentially dangerous prey. Instead of attempting to immediately consume its victim, the great white will often release its hold and retreat, sinking back into the depths, sometimes circling at a distance. This is not a sign of weakness or indecision, but a highly effective energy-conserving tactic. The initial bite is designed to inflict a mortal wound, to incapacitate the prey and initiate a rapid blood loss. By retreating, the shark allows the injured animal to bleed out and weaken, minimizing the risk of counter-injury during a prolonged struggle. A thrashing seal, even if mortally wounded, can still inflict painful bites or scratches with its teeth and claws, or potentially damage the shark's sensitive gill slits. The great white, a creature of immense power, is also a creature of profound caution, prioritizing its own safety and energy expenditure. During this waiting period, which can extend from several minutes to an hour or more, the shark remains vigilant. Its keen sense of smell monitors the expanding plume of blood, a clear indicator of the prey's weakening state. The ampullae of Lorenzini continue to detect the diminishing, increasingly erratic electrical signals emanating from the dying animal, informing the shark of its condition. The lateral line senses the cessation of violent thrashing, signaling that the prey is no longer a threat. This patient surveillance ensures that when the shark eventually returns to feed the meal, is safer and requires less energy to consume. When the great white finally returns to the incapacitated or deceased prey, its feeding behavior is often characterized by tearing off large, easily digestible chunks of flesh and blubber, which are swallowed whole. These large pieces are processed by its powerful digestive system, providing the immense caloric intake necessary to fuel its colossal body and sustain its active predatory lifestyle. Unlike some terrestrial predators that meticulously strip meat from bone, the great white's feeding is often a more direct, powerful process, driven by the need to quickly and efficiently consume as much high-energy tissue as possible. The dynamics of the strike can also vary depending on the type and size of the prey. When targeting smaller fish or other smaller sharks, the attack might be more direct, a rapid chase and engulfment without the protracted hit and run phase. The sheer speed and agility of the great white are often sufficient to overwhelm these smaller targets. However, its most impressive and well-studied attacks remain those on marine mammals, where the combination of stealth, explosive power, and calculated retreat truly shines. It is important to remember that human encounters with great white sharks, while often portrayed dramatically, are not typically predatory attacks in the same vein as those on their natural prey. Scientists theorize that many interactions involving humans are investigative bites, or misidentifications where the shark, perhaps confused by a surfboard's silhouette or a swimmer's movements, takes an exploratory bite to gather information rather than a full committed predatory strike. The distinct lack of immediate consumption after such incidents supports this hypothesis, suggesting that humans are not typically part of the great white's natural diet. The great white strike is a testament to the brutal elegance of nature, a finely tuned sequence of sensory integration, biomechanical power, and strategic patience. It is a fleeting yet profound moment in the ocean's vast narrative, where millions of years of evolution culminate in an act of primal efficiency. As we ponder the raw power and intricate precision of this apex predator, allow the image of its silent, powerful movements to gently guide your thoughts, drifting deeper into the quietude where the mysteries of the ocean continue to unfold in the gentle currents of your dreams. Reproduction and life cycle. From the explosive, calculated power of the strike which secures its place at the apex of the marine world, our journey now turns to a more subtle, yet equally profound aspect of the great white shark's existence: the perpetuation of its formidable lineage, the silent, mysterious cycle of reproduction and life beneath the waves. This is a realm rarely witnessed, shrouded in the vastness and depth of the ocean, where the most intimate moments of these colossal creatures unfold away from human eyes, leaving scientists to piece together the fragments of evidence like ancient mariners charting unknown seas. The pathway to a new generation begins with the slow, deliberate maturation of the individual shark. Great white sharks are creatures of impressive longevity, and their journey to sexual maturity is a protracted one reflecting their substantial size and complex life history. Females, the architects of future generations, typically reach maturity at a length of approximately 4 to 5 meters, a threshold that usually takes between 12 to 18 years or even longer to achieve. Males, while also requiring a significant period of growth, mature slightly earlier, often around 3.5 to 4 meters in length, usually between 7 to 10 years of age. This extended period of juvenile growth underscores the importance of a stable environment and abundant food resources, allowing these magnificent predators to attain the size and strength necessary for successful reproduction. The act of mating itself remains one of the ocean's most enduring and elusive spectacles, a dance of giants performed in the deep, silent currents. Direct observations of great white shark mating are extraordinarily rare, leading scientists to rely heavily on indirect evidence such as bite marks found on mature females during specific seasons. These marks, often found on the pectoral fin's flanks and dorsal region, are believed to be holding bites inflicted by the male during copulation. Imagine the immense challenge of two colossal, powerful bodies, each weighing thousands of kilograms, maneuvering with precision in the fluid environment of the ocean to achieve this intricate biological union. Scientists theorize that the male must grip the female firmly to maintain position, a necessary act that, while leaving temporary wounds, is not indicative of aggressive predation, but rather a functional component of their reproductive behavior. The specific cues that initiate courtship, the subtle signals exchanged between these immense creatures, are still largely a mystery, perhaps involving a complex interplay of chemical scents, electrical signals, and behavioral displays that unfold in the vast, unseen depths. Great white sharks exhibit internal fertilization, a characteristic shared by all cartilaginous fishes. The male possesses a pair of specialized reproductive organs called claspers, which are modified extensions of the pelvic fins. During mating, one of these claspers is inserted into the female's cloaca, facilitating the transfer of sperm. This internal fertilization is a significant evolutionary adaptation, providing a more secure and efficient method of reproduction compared to the external spawning of many bony fishes, where eggs and sperm are simply released into the open water. It ensures a higher probability of successful fertilization and offers protection for the developing embryos within the female's body. Following successful fertilization, the female great white shark embarks upon a remarkably long and demanding gestation period. Unlike many fish that lay eggs, externally great whites are ovoviviparous. This means that the fertilized eggs are retained within the mother's uterus, where they develop and hatch internally. Imagine the quiet, dark sanctuary within the female's body, where each developing embryo is initially encased within a delicate, leathery egg case, much like a miniature self-contained universe. These egg cases provide initial nourishment from a yolk sac, but this supply is finite. As the embryos grow, a truly fascinating and somewhat stark biological process unfolds, autophagy meaning egg eating. Once their initial yolk sacs are depleted, the developing pups still within the mother's uterus begin to feed on a continuous supply of unfertilized eggs produced by the mother. Imagine a silent, internal competition where the strongest and most developed pups actively consume these nutrient-rich eggs, growing larger and stronger at the expense of their unfertilized siblings. This provides a constant, rich source of sustenance, allowing the pups to reach a substantial size before birth. This unique strategy ensures that the offspring are born large, robust, and well-developed, giving them a crucial head start in the challenging and dangerous marine environment. The gestation period is estimated to be quite long, possibly ranging from 12 to 18 months, or even longer, though precise data remains scarce due to the difficulty of observing pregnant females in the wild. When the time for birth finally arrives, the female great white seeks out specific, often shallower, warmer coastal areas known as nursery grounds. These locations are critical for the survival of the young. The birthing process itself is believed to be a quiet, solitary event, with the female releasing her fully formed pups into the waters, where they will begin their independent lives. A litter typically consists of between 2 to 10 pups, though larger litters have been reported. Each newborn pup is already an impressive miniature version of its parent, typically measuring between 1.2 to 1.5 meters, 4 to 5 feet in length. Imagine a creature already the size of an adult human, sleek and perfectly formed, emerging into the world with fully functional senses and a complete set of sharp predatory teeth. These newborn great whites are immediately independent, a stark contrast to the prolonged parental care seen in many mammals. There is no maternal schooling or direct protection after birth. The pups must instantly fend for themselves. Their specialized nursery grounds are chosen for a critical balance of factors: abundant smaller prey, such as small fish squid and rays, which are suitable for their size; warmer waters, which can accelerate their growth and metabolism; and crucially, a relative absence of larger predators, including adult, great white sharks, which might view the young as potential prey. These shallow, often turbid coastal areas offer both food and concealment, providing a vital sanctuary during their most vulnerable early months and years. Examples of suspected or confirmed nursery grounds include the California Bight off the coast of Southern California and Baja California, parts of the eastern Atlantic, and certain coastal regions off Australia and South Africa. These areas are not just geographical locations, they are vital ecological cradles nurturing the next generation of apex predators. The juvenile life of a great white shark is a period of rapid growth and continuous learning. For the first few years, their diet primarily consists of smaller, more manageable prey, such as bony fish, smaller sharks, and crustaceans. Their teeth, while formidable, are initially more suited for grasping and piercing these smaller, faster-moving targets. As they grow in size and strength, their hunting capabilities expand, and their diet gradually shifts. This dietary transition is often accompanied by a subtle change in tooth morphology, with the teeth becoming broader and more serrated, better adapted for tearing through the tougher hides and thicker blubber of marine mammals. This period of growth is not without its perils. Despite their impressive size at birth, young great whites are still vulnerable to larger marine predators, including other sharks, orcas, and even larger members of their own species. They navigate a complex world of shifting currents and hidden dangers, constantly honing their hunting skills and refining their sensory perceptions. Their growth rate is influenced by factors such as food availability, water temperature, and individual genetics, but it is a steady, relentless progression towards the colossal dimensions of adulthood. The estimated lifespan of a great white shark is remarkably long, further emphasizing their slow life history. Recent scientific studies utilizing radioisotope dating of vertebral centra suggest that great whites can live for 70 years or even longer, far exceeding earlier estimates. This longevity means that each reproductive cycle in a female is incredibly precious. Given their long gestation period and the energy demands of carrying and nourishing large ovoviviparous pups, female great whites are believed to reproduce only every 2 to 4 years, or even less frequently. This slow reproductive rate, coupled with a late age of sexual maturity, makes great white shark populations particularly vulnerable to human impacts and slow to recover from declines. Much of what we understand about the great white's reproduction and life cycle is a mosaic pieced together from dead specimens, incidental observations, and sophisticated tracking technologies. The deep ocean carefully guards its secrets, and the intimate moments of these magnificent creatures remain largely unobserved. Scientists continue to deploy advanced acoustic tags, satellite transmitters, and genetic analyses to slowly unravel these mysteries, tracing the movements of pregnant females, identifying critical nursery habitats, and mapping the intricate pathways of their generational journeys. Thus, the continuation of the great white lineage is a testament to resilience, a slow, deliberate unfolding of life beneath the waves. Each pup emerging into the vast blue carries within it the ancient echoes of its ancestors, a silent promise of future generations. As we contemplate this profound cycle, the quiet persistence of life's renewal, allow your thoughts to drift like the gentle currents carrying new life deeper into the tranquil embrace of sleep, where the ocean's timeless stories continue to whisper in the quietude. Migration patterns and habitats. From the profound, quiet act of perpetuating its lineage within the hidden nurseries of the ocean, the great white shark soon embarks upon a life defined by vast, often solitary journeys. These are not creatures bound to a single reef or a confined territory. They are true nomads of the deep, their lives woven into the very fabric of ocean currents and seasonal rhythms covering distances that stretch across entire ocean basins. Their habitats are not static locations, but dynamic, shifting realms, encompassing both the sun-dappled shallows of coastal waters and the profound, lightless expanses of the open sea. Imagine the vast blue expanse of our planet, where the temperate and subtropical waters of every major ocean basin serve as the great white's sprawling domain. From the cool, nutrient-rich waters off the coasts of California and South Africa to the distant emerald shores of Australia and New Zealand, and across the expansive Atlantic, these magnificent predators roam. Their presence is a testament to their adaptability, a creature equally at home, hunting seals in the turbulent surf zone as it is traversing the abyssal plains, thousands of meters deep, far from any landmass. This duality of habitat use, nearshore and pelagic, underscores the incredible flexibility of their biology and behavior. The primary drivers of these epic migrations are deeply rooted in the fundamental necessities of life, the relentless pursuit of sustenance, and the imperative of reproduction. As seasons shift, so too do the distributions of their prey. Consider the vast colonies of seals and sea lions that populate temperate coastlines. These rich feeding grounds, teeming with high-energy blubber and flesh, act as powerful attractants, drawing great whites to specific coastal aggregation sites during certain times of the year. For instance, off the coast of California, particularly around the Farallon Islands and Año Nuevo, or in the waters surrounding Guadalupe Island off Mexico, and the famous seal colonies of Gansby and Dyer Island in South Africa, mature great whites gather seasonally. They arrive in synchronized patterns drawn by the predictable abundance of young, inexperienced pinnipeds, representing a crucial period of intense feeding to build up vital energy reserves. Yet these coastal aggregations are often temporary. Once the feeding season wanes or the reproductive drive takes hold, the great whites disperse. This dispersal can lead them into the vast blue wilderness of the open ocean, far from the familiar contours of the continental shelves. Scientists utilizing sophisticated satellite tagging technology have unveiled astonishing migratory feats. Imagine a small, streamlined tag meticulously attached to the dorsal fin of a great white, silently transmitting whispers of its journey to orbiting satellites mapping its unseen odyssey. These data have revealed that individuals tagged off the coast of California will embark on journeys stretching over 6,000 kilometers, crossing the entire Pacific Ocean to reach specific enigmatic areas near Hawaii. Others from Australia and New Zealand will traverse similar distances, diving into the profound depths of the Tasman Sea and beyond. The reasons for these immense pelagic migrations are still being pieced together, forming one of the ocean's most compelling mysteries. One prevailing theory suggests that these deep ocean voyages are linked to reproductive cycles. It is believed that mating may occur in these remote offshore locations, away from the turbulence and potential dangers of coastal areas. Pregnant females may then undertake further journeys to find secluded, warmer nursery grounds, as discussed in the previous chapter, where their vulnerable pups can be born and grow in relative safety. The precise timing and locations of these elusive mating and birthing events remain a significant frontier in great white shark research, a silent drama unfolding far from human observation. Another crucial factor driving these oceanic wanderings is thermoregulation and the search for optimal water temperatures. While great whites possess a remarkable ability to elevate the temperature of certain vital organs through their rete mirabile, allowing them to hunt effectively in cooler waters, they are still fundamentally ectothermic creatures. Prolonged exposure to extreme cold can impact their metabolism and activity levels. Therefore, migrations to warmer subtropical waters or deeper dives to access specific thermal layers may be a strategy to optimize their internal body temperature, enhancing their physiological performance and overall health. Perhaps one of the most intriguing discoveries regarding great white migration is the phenomenon known as the white shark cafe. This term, playfully coined by scientists, refers to a specific, vast expanse of open ocean located roughly midway between Baja California and Hawaii. Satellite tags have shown that numerous great whites from the Californian population undertake annual migrations to this seemingly barren region, spending months in its deep blue embrace before returning to the coastal feeding grounds. The purpose of this convergence remains largely enigmatic. It is a place where food sources, at least at the surface, appear to be scarce. However, the data from these tags also reveal that while at the White Shark Cafe, the sharks engage in extraordinary diving behavior. Imagine a colossal predator descending steadily, sometimes for hours, into the crushing pressures and absolute darkness of the deep ocean, reaching depths of over 1,000 meters. They perform repeated rhythmic dives, often spending significant periods in these abyssal realms before ascending back towards the surface. What draws them to these incredible depths? Scientists theorize several possibilities. It could be a unique, deep-water feeding ground, perhaps targeting elusive squid, mesopelagic fish, or even small whales that inhabit the twilight and midnight zones. The deep ocean is a vastly unexplored world, and the great white's ability to dive to such extremes suggests a predatory versatility far beyond its coastal reputation. Alternatively, these deep dives could be related to social interactions, perhaps a form of mating ritual, or a gathering of individuals for reasons yet unknown. The consistent return of multiple individuals to this specific remote location year after year suggests a profound unwritten purpose, a silent convention of oceanic giants. The navigational prowess required for these transoceanic journeys is itself a marvel. How does a creature navigate thousands of kilometers of featureless ocean with such precision returning to specific coastal sites with uncanny accuracy. While the exact mechanisms are still under investigation, scientists believe that a combination of senses is at play. As discussed in previous chapters, the Great White's electroreceptive ampullae of Lorenzini are thought to detect the Earth's subtle magnetic field, acting as an internal compass, guiding them across vast stretches of water. Olfaction likely plays a role, with sharks potentially sensing large-scale chemical gradients in the ocean, perhaps related to differences in salinity temperature or the distant chemical signatures of productive ecosystems. They may also utilize ocean currents as navigational aids or even subtle changes in water pressure as depth indicators. It is a symphony of sensory input processed by an ancient, powerful brain, creating an internal map of the boundless blue. Within their chosen habitats, whether coastal or pelagic great whites exhibit a fascinating range of behaviors. In coastal areas, they often utilize specific underwater topography, such as canyons, drop-offs, and reefs, as ambush points or patrol routes. Their movements are not random, but often follow predictable patterns, demonstrating an intimate knowledge of their local environment. They can be found in relatively shallow waters, sometimes only a few meters deep, especially when hunting seals or investigating potential prey near shore. Yet they possess the physiological adaptations, including the ability to warm their core muscles and eyes to venture into deeper, cooler waters, expanding their foraging range. The concept of a home range for a great white is therefore a fluid and expansive one, encompassing vast stretches of ocean rather than a confined territory. While individuals may show fidelity to specific feeding grounds during certain seasons, their overall life history is characterized by a relentless pursuit of optimal conditions and abundant resources, making them truly global nomads. Each journey is an immense undertaking, demanding incredible energy reserves and a finely tuned understanding of the ocean's intricate systems. As we slowly drift through these unseen migratory pathways, tracing the immense, silent journeys of the great white shark, we are reminded of the profound interconnectedness of marine ecosystems. Their movements are not isolated events, but are deeply intertwined with the cycles of their prey, the rhythms of the seasons, and the vast invisible forces that shape our planet's oceans. The great white, in its ceaseless wandering, acts as a sentinel of the deep, a living indicator of the health and balance of these vital marine environments. As we contemplate these immense silent voyages, allow your own thoughts to gently drift, carried by the currents of understanding deeper into the tranquil embrace of sleep, where the ocean's timeless stories continue to unfold in the quietude of your dreams. Unsolved mysteries of the great white. As the great white shark continues its immense nomadic journeys across the ocean's vastness, a creature of profound power and refined senses, much of its existence remains veiled in the deep, silent currents. Despite decades of dedicated scientific inquiry employing increasingly sophisticated technologies, this apex predator continues to guard many of its most fundamental secrets, receding into the shadows of the unknown, challenging our understanding and compelling us to ponder the depths of its mysterious life. It is in these very unknowns that the true majesty of the great white often lies, a testament to the ocean's enduring capacity for enigma. One of the most profound and persistent mysteries revolves around the intimate, life-giving acts of mating and birthing. While scientists have pieced together a theoretical framework for great white reproduction, understanding that they are ovoviviparous, that pups feed on unfertilized eggs internally, and that females give birth to live young in specific nursery areas, the actual events themselves remain almost entirely unobserved in the wild. Imagine the scale of this unseen drama. Two colossal, powerful sharks weighing thousands of kilograms, each engaging in a delicate yet forceful embrace in the vast, fluid environment of the open ocean. Where do these encounters occur? Are there specific secluded areas that serve as rendezvous points for mature individuals? What are the subtle, perhaps chemical or electrical signals that draw them together? Scientists theorize that mating likely occurs in deep offshore waters, far from the coastal chaos, perhaps to avoid disturbances or to provide a safer environment for such a vulnerable act. The bite marks often found on the flanks and pectoral fins of mature female sharks are considered strong evidence of male holding behavior. During copulation, a necessary grip to maintain position. But the precise choreography, the duration of the act, and the specific cues that trigger it are still largely speculative. We do not know if mating is a brief, intense encounter or a prolonged, elaborate ritual. Similarly, the birthing process itself, the moment a female releases her fully formed meter-long pups into the ocean, has never been directly witnessed. The exact timing, the depth, and the specific environmental conditions chosen by the female for this critical event remain shrouded in the deep, silent waters, adding a layer of profound mystery to the very propagation of this ancient lineage. Perhaps the most captivating and widely discussed enigma in recent years is the phenomenon of the white shark cafe. Imagine a vast, seemingly featureless expanse of open ocean, roughly midway between Baja, California, and Hawaii, a place far removed from the productive coastal feeding grounds. Yet year after year, great white sharks from the Californian population undertake epic transoceanic migrations, traveling thousands of kilometers to converge in this remote patch of blue. They spend months in this oceanic desert, a place that at first glance appears to offer little sustenance. What draws them to this specific distant rendezvous? What purpose do they fulfill in this enigmatic oceanic cafe? Satellite tags have revealed that while at the White Shark Cafe, these colossal sharks engage in extraordinary diving behaviors. Picture a great white, a creature typically associated with coastal shallows, descending steadily into the profound, crushing darkness of the deep ocean, sometimes reaching depths exceeding 1,000 meters. These are not isolated exploratory dives. They are repeated rhythmic descents, often performed throughout the day and night. What secrets does the abyss hold for them? Scientists propose various hypotheses. It could be a unique deep-water feeding ground, perhaps targeting elusive squid species, mesopelagic fish, or even small, deep-dwelling whales that inhabit the twilight and midnight zones. The open ocean, particularly its deeper layers, remains one of Earth's least explored frontiers, and the great white's consistent presence and extreme diving suggest a predatory versatility that we are only just beginning to comprehend. Alternatively, the White Shark Cafe might serve a social or reproductive function. Could it be a place for courtship where individuals seek out mates away from the competitive coastal areas? Could it be a gathering point for specific social interactions, a silent convention of oceanic giants exchanging information or establishing dominance hierarchies? The precise nature of great white social dynamics is another significant mystery. While often perceived as solitary hunters, observations at concentrated feeding sites such as seal colonies or whale carcasses suggest a more complex social structure, with individuals sometimes exhibiting a pecking order or even cooperative behaviors. Do these transient aggregations at the White Shark Cafe represent a more formalized, albeit temporary, social gathering, a deeper layer of interaction that occurs beyond our current understanding? The answer remains suspended in the deep, silent currents of the Pacific. further extending the realm of the unknown, is the question of the great white's true social behavior. Are they truly solitary, only interacting during mating or at abundant food sources? Or do they possess more nuanced, perhaps even long-term social bonds that are simply beyond our current observational capabilities? Researchers have noted that some individual sharks appear to recognize each other, showing less aggression towards familiar individuals at feeding sites. This suggests a capacity for individual recognition, and perhaps even a rudimentary form of social learning. But the extent of this social complexity, the presence of stable groups, or the existence of communication methods beyond simple dominance displays remains largely speculative. The vastness of the ocean makes sustained, intimate observation of these creatures incredibly challenging, allowing their social lives to unfold largely in the shadows. And then there is the most fundamental mystery of all for a creature of constant motion. How does a great white shark rest or even sleep? Unlike many bony fishes that possess swim bladders and can remain motionless in the water column, the great white, like most active sharks, relies on ram ventilation for respiration. This means it must continuously swim forward to force water over its gills, extracting vital oxygen. If it stops moving for too long, it risks suffocation. So how does this colossal predator achieve the restorative state of sleep, a universal biological imperative? Scientists theorize several possibilities. One hypothesis suggests that great whites may enter a state of unilateral sleep, where one half of their brain rests while the other half remains active, allowing for continuous swimming and vigilance. This phenomenon is observed in some marine mammals such as dolphins and whales. Alternatively, they might engage in periods of slower, more passive swimming, perhaps utilizing specific currents or hydrodynamics to aid in water flow over their gills, entering a state of reduced awareness or restful swimming. Some observations of other shark species resting on the seabed in areas with strong currents, allowing water to flow over their gills, hint at a similar possibility for great whites in specific yet undiscovered locations. The precise physiological mechanisms and behavioral patterns of great white shark rest or sleep remain one of the most compelling and elusive secrets, a profound question mark hanging over the very essence of their existence. Another significant shadow shrouding our understanding is the precise global population numbers of great white sharks. While conservation efforts are underway and legal protections exist in many regions, accurately counting these wide-ranging, elusive animals is an immense challenge. Scientists rely on various methods, including photographic identification of individual sharks based on unique fin markings, genetic sampling, and acoustic and satellite tagging. However, the vastness of their migratory ranges, the difficulty of accessing remote habitats, and the sheer elusiveness of these creatures make precise population estimates incredibly difficult to achieve. Are populations truly stable, increasing or still declining in certain areas? The answers are often fragmented, leaving us with a cautious optimism tempered by the persistent unknowns. The lack of robust population data makes it challenging to assess the full impact of human activities, such as bycatch in fisheries, on their long-term survival. Finally, the precise motivations behind certain investigative or test bites, particularly those involving humans or unfamiliar objects, continue to be debated. While the prevailing scientific consensus is that humans are not natural prey, and such incidents are often misidentifications or exploratory behaviors, the exact cognitive processes at play remain elusive. Is it pure curiosity, a cautious assessment of potential food, a defensive reaction to an unknown stimulus? The internal world of a great white, its decision-making processes and its perception of its environment are complex and profoundly different from our own, making it challenging to definitively interpret its actions. These shadows and secrets, these profound unknowns, do not diminish the great white shark. Rather, they enhance its mystique. They remind us that even in our technologically advanced age, the ocean and the magnificent creatures within it hold vast realms of unexplored knowledge. The great white shark, in its silent, powerful passage, continues to be a living enigma, a creature that challenges our assumptions and compels us to look deeper, to listen more closely to the whispers of the current, and to acknowledge the profound, beautiful mysteries that still lie hidden beneath the waves, gently guiding our minds into the quietude of sleep where our own dreams may perhaps touch upon these ancient unspoken truths. Conservation and the future of the great white. From the profound, enduring mysteries that shroud its existence, emphasizing the vast unknowns that still surround this ancient predator. Our journey now turns towards the critical intersection of the great white shark's future with our own. As an apex predator, a creature that has navigated the Earth's oceans for hundreds of millions of years, the great white stands as a sentinel of marine health, a living testament to evolutionary success. Yet even this formidable architect of the deep is not immune to the pervasive and often devastating impacts of human activity, making its conservation not just an ecological imperative, but a profound responsibility. Imagine the vast, interconnected web of life within the ocean, a delicate balance where each species plays a crucial role. At the very top of this intricate food web, the great white shark, by its very nature, acts as a keystone species. This means its presence and its predatory actions are vital for maintaining the health and stability of the entire ecosystem. By preying on sick, old, or weak individuals within populations of seals, sea lions, and other marine mammals, great whites help to cull the less fit, ensuring the genetic vigor and overall health of these prey species. Their predation also helps to prevent overgrazing by herbivores, maintaining the delicate balance of kelp forests and seagrass beds. The removal of such a top predator can have cascading, unpredictable effects throughout the entire ecosystem, leading to imbalances that can degrade marine environments from the bottom up. Therefore, protecting the great white shark is synonymous with protecting the health of the ocean itself. For decades and even centuries, the great white shark has faced formidable threats, primarily stemming from human activities. Historically, fear and misunderstanding often fueled targeted hunting. Its imposing size and fearsome reputation led to a perception that it was a dangerous menace, resulting in culling programs and recreational hunting, particularly in the mid to late 20th century. Imagine the silent, powerful bodies once so dominant being hauled ashore, trophies of a misguided conquest, their numbers slowly dwindling under the relentless pressure. However, the most significant threat to great white populations has arguably been incidental capture, known as bycatch, in commercial fisheries. Picture vast fishing nets stretching for kilometers across the open ocean, or long lines, studded with thousands of baited hooks, designed to catch commercially valuable fish, like tuna and swordfish. The great white, an opportunistic predator and a wide-ranging nomad, often becomes entangled in these nets, or takes bait intended for other species, becoming an unintended victim. Its slow reproductive rate, with females maturing late and giving birth infrequently to only a few pups, means that even a relatively small increase in mortality from bycatch can have a profound and lasting impact on population numbers, making recovery a long and arduous process. The pups themselves in their coastal nursery grounds are also vulnerable to smaller-scale fisheries, and coastal development, further impacting the recruitment of new individuals into the adult population. Adding to these direct threats are the more insidious pervasive pressures of habitat degradation and climate change. Coastal nursery areas vital for the survival of young sharks are increasingly threatened by human development pollution and coastal engineering. Runoff from land-based sources can introduce toxins and pollutants into these critical habitats, impacting the health and survival of both the young sharks and their prey. Climate change, with its associated changes in ocean temperature, acidity, and current patterns, poses a long-term systemic threat. Alterations in ocean temperature can shift the distribution of prey species, forcing great whites to adapt their migratory patterns or find new feeding grounds. Ocean acidification caused by the absorption of excess carbon dioxide can impact the entire food web, potentially affecting the health of the great white's prey species. The subtle yet profound changes to the ocean's chemistry and physics are creating an increasingly challenging environment for these ancient creatures. Recognizing these severe threats, the international community and individual nations have in recent decades taken significant steps towards protecting the great white shark. In 1997, the great white shark was listed on Appendix II of the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora CITES. This crucial listing regulates international trade in great white shark parts such as fins and jaws, ensuring that any trade is sustainable and not detrimental to the species. Many countries, including Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, the United States, and several others, have implemented national laws that provide full protection for great white sharks, making it illegal to catch, harm, or possess them. These legal frameworks are the bedrock of conservation efforts, providing a shield against direct exploitation. Beyond legal protections, a multifaceted approach to great white shark conservation is underway. Scientific research continues to be paramount. Satellite tagging programs, which track the immense migratory journeys of individual sharks, provide invaluable data on their habitat use, migration routes, and critical feeding and breeding grounds. This information is essential for identifying areas that require special protection, for understanding population connectivity, and for developing effective management strategies. Genetic studies are helping to delineate distinct populations and assess genetic diversity, providing insights into their resilience and evolutionary potential. Remote underwater cameras, acoustic arrays, and advanced sonar technologies are allowing scientists to observe shark behavior, with minimal disturbance, slowly peeling back the layers of mystery surrounding their lives. Public education and awareness campaigns also play a crucial role. By dispelling myths and fostering a deeper understanding of the great white's ecological importance. These initiatives aim to shift public perception from fear to fascination and respect. Imagine the transformation of public sentiment from seeing a monster to recognizing a magnificent, vital component of our planet's marine heritage. This shift in perspective is fundamental to building widespread support for conservation. Furthermore, efforts are being made to develop and implement shark-friendly fishing practices. This includes modifications to fishing gear, such as the use of circle hooks that are less likely to be swallowed by sharks, or the deployment of acoustic deterrents that can keep sharks away from fishing gear. By working with commercial fisheries, conservationists aim to reduce bycatch rates, allowing sharks to swim free and continue their vital roles in the ecosystem. The establishment of marine protected areas (MPAs), particularly in identified nursery grounds or critical feeding aggregations, provides safe havens where great whites can thrive without human interference. These protected zones act as vital refuges, allowing populations to replenish and spill over into surrounding areas. The future of the great white shark therefore hinges on a delicate balance between continued scientific research, robust legal protections, innovative conservation strategies, and a sustained global commitment to ocean health. It is a future that requires us to see beyond the fear, to recognize the profound ecological value of this ancient predator, and to understand that its survival is inextricably linked to the health of the planet's largest and most vital ecosystem. The great white, in its silent, powerful vigilance, is a guardian of the ocean, a living indicator of its well-being. By protecting it, we are not just saving a species, we are safeguarding the intricate balance of marine life, preserving the very fabric of the blue planet for generations to come. As we contemplate this shared future, allow your thoughts to drift, carried by the currents of hope and responsibility deeper into the tranquil embrace of sleep, where the ocean's timeless stories continue to whisper in the quietude, urging us towards a harmonious coexistence. Our evolving understanding of the ocean's apex predator. Our journey through the silent, powerful world of the great white shark has unveiled layers of ancient history, biological perfection, and sensory marvels, slowly illuminating the contours of its formidable existence. From the deep echoes of its 400-million-year lineage through the exquisite hydrodynamic architecture of its form, the serrated crown of its jaws, the molecular whispers of its olfactory world, and the invisible currents of its electric sixth sense, we have charted a path through its predatory strategies, its mysterious reproductive cycles, and its epic nomadic migrations. Yet the ocean, in its boundless wisdom, always holds more secrets, and our understanding of this apex predator is not a static portrait, but an ever-evolving canvas painted by the ceaseless brushstrokes of scientific inquiry. For generations, humanity's perception of the great white shark was largely shaped by anecdotal encounters, dramatic tales and observations limited to coastal sightings or captured specimens. Our knowledge was fragmented, often tinged with fear, and frequently overshadowed by the sheer mystery of a creature that spent much of its life hidden beneath the waves. The colossal scale of the ocean, its vastness and depth, presented an almost insurmountable barrier to sustained, intimate observation. Early scientific efforts, while foundational, often relied on anatomical studies of deceased sharks or brief fleeting glimpses in their natural habitat. Imagine the challenge of comprehending a creature capable of traversing entire ocean basins based on such limited data. However, in recent decades, a quiet revolution in marine science has begun to peel back these layers of enigma, driven by relentless curiosity and the advent of groundbreaking technologies. This evolving understanding is transforming our perception of the great white shark, revealing a creature far more complex, more nuanced, and more ecologically vital than previously imagined. It is a continuous process of discovery where each new piece of data adds another delicate thread to the intricate tapestry of its life. One of the most transformative advancements has been the development of sophisticated tagging technologies. Picture a small, streamlined device meticulously attached to the dorsal fin of a great white, silently transmitting whispers of its journey to orbiting satellites. These satellite tags, combined with acoustic tags that send signals to underwater receiver arrays, have revolutionized our understanding of their movements. They have revealed the astonishing transoceanic migrations, mapping pathways thousands of kilometers long, tracing individuals from coastal feeding grounds into the profound expanses of the open ocean. It is through these tiny technological messengers that we first glimpse the enigma of the White Shark Cafe, a distant deep-water gathering point that continues to challenge our assumptions about their social and feeding behaviors. The data from these tags not only charts their horizontal movements, but also records their vertical movements, revealing the incredible depths to which they dive, sometimes exceeding 1,000 meters, hinting at hidden predatory strategies in the abyssal zones. Beyond simply tracking movements, advanced archival tags can record a wealth of physiological data. Imagine a tiny sensor continuously monitoring water temperature, depth, and even the shark's internal body temperature. This has allowed scientists to refine their understanding of regional endothermy, the great white's unique ability to warm certain parts of its body, and to correlate these physiological states with specific behaviors and environmental conditions. We are beginning to understand how they regulate their body temperature during deep, cold dives, or how they utilize different thermal layers of the ocean. These insights are crucial for comprehending their energetic demands and their resilience in diverse marine environments. Genetic research is another powerful tool reshaping our understanding of the great white lineage. By analyzing DNA samples, scientists can trace evolutionary relationships with greater precision, confirming that the modern great white diverged from a different Mako lineage, rather than directly from the colossal Carcharicles megalodon. Genetic studies also help to identify distinct populations, assess genetic diversity, and understand the degree of connectivity between geographically separated groups. This information is vital for conservation, allowing scientists to identify vulnerable populations and design more effective management strategies to preserve their genetic health and long-term viability. Imagine the invisible threads of genetic code revealing the deep ancestral connections and the subtle variations that allow these powerful creatures to adapt to their specific oceanic homes. The application of stable isotope analysis has further deepened our understanding of the great white's diet and trophic position. By analyzing the stable isotopes of carbon and nitrogen found in shark tissues, scientists can reconstruct their feeding habits over time, providing a detailed picture of their diet and how it changes with age, location, and season. This data reinforces their role as apex predators, revealing their consumption of marine mammals, large fish, and even other sharks, and confirming their crucial role in regulating marine food webs. It is like reading the chemical signature of their meals, etched into their very being, telling a silent story of their predatory existence. Technological advancements in non-invasive observation are also transforming our ability to study their behavior without disturbance. Drones equipped with high-resolution cameras can now capture breathtaking aerial footage of great whites interacting with their environment and prey, offering new perspectives on their hunting strategies and social dynamics. Autonomous underwater vehicles, AUVs, and remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, can venture into deeper, more challenging environments, potentially revealing aspects of their lives that have remained completely hidden. These tools minimize human presence, allowing for more natural observations and reducing the potential for altering their behavior. This evolving understanding has had a profound impact on conservation efforts. By mapping critical nursery grounds, identifying key migratory corridors, and understanding the slow reproductive rates and late maturity of great whites, scientists can advocate for targeted protections. The shift from seeing the shark as a mindless man-eater to recognizing it as a vital, complex keystone species has been instrumental in garnering public support for conservation. Education and awareness campaigns built upon this growing scientific knowledge are gradually dispelling old myths and fostering a deeper appreciation for their ecological role. We are learning that protecting the great white is not just about safeguarding a single species, but about preserving the intricate balance and health of the entire marine ecosystem, from the smallest plankton to the largest whales. Yet as we gain more clarity, new questions inevitably emerge, reminding us of the ocean's infinite capacity for mystery. The precise reasons behind the white shark cafe's allure, the full extent of their social interactions, the intricate details of their mating rituals, and the elusive nature of their sleep patterns continue to challenge and inspire researchers. These persistent unknowns are not limitations. They are invitations to further exploration, driving the next generation of scientific discovery. The great white shark, in its silent, powerful passage, remains a living enigma, a creature whose very existence compels us to look deeper, to listen more closely to the whispers of the current, and to acknowledge the profound, beautiful mysteries that still lie hidden beneath the waves. Our understanding will continue to evolve, much like the ocean itself, forever, changing forever, revealing new facets of this magnificent architect of the deep, a timeless presence in the endless blue. And so, as we drift away from the profound, silent world of the great white shark, let the echoes of its ancient power gently recede, like a distant wave returning to the open sea. Remember that the very elements composing its formidable form, the calcium in its powerful jaws, the iron coursing through its ancient blood, were forged in the heart of distant dying stars, billions of years ago. And so too are you, a child of cosmic dust and ancient starlight, intrinsically connected to every creature that swims, that flies, that breathes upon this earth. As the great white navigates its unseen currents, guided by senses beyond our waking comprehension, your own mind now prepares for its silent journey into the depths of sleep. The ocean's mysteries, vast and ancient, now blend seamlessly with the quiet, unfolding landscapes of your dreams, where thoughts drift like phytoplankton on the tide. May the deep, gentle currents of the ocean cradle your spirit, and the silent, rhythmic pulse of the tides guide you into a profound, restorative slumber, a peaceful descent into the endless blue of night. Sleep well. Goodbye, and see you again.